Top of the morning. It's Tuesday morning. It's a beautiful day. I want to talk about the First Amendment. Go figure. And I want to talk about what it means to actually appreciate, love something. Because I love the First Amendment. And I love my wife. And because I love the First Amendment, and because I love my wife, I know things about them. Pay attention to them. Pick a restaurant. If we went into it and I looked at the menu, I could guess with pretty reasonable accuracy what my wife would order ahead of time, because I have studied her, because I've spent time with her, because I know what she wants, what she likes, and how she does things. If we go into our favorite Mexican restaurant, La Familia, she's going to order looks like a cocktail glass full of shrimp, and probably a Mexican, or not a Mexican, a shrimp burrito. I don't remember what they call it, but it's a shrimp burrito. Lots of shrimp in there. I know these things because I've spent time with her, watching, paying attention, understanding. I love the First Amendment, and so when it comes to the First Amendment, I can generally have a pretty good idea of what's going on because I've read all the cases. The simpletons out there think the First Amendment is what is written in the Constitution. That's not the First Amendment. That is the social media dating site app front page for the First Amendment. It's the advertisement page for the First Amendment. It's not all the qualifiers and the fine print for the First Amendment. In order to actually understand the First Amendment, not only do you have to read the First Amendment, which doesn't take very long because it's only a sentence long. It's a compound sentence, but still, you get the point. You have to read the cases. All the cases. Not all of them, but enough of them so you can see where it's going and how it works. And then you can start appreciating the beauty of some of the things, like like James Springer, like his case in Fort Huachuca. Because how's the First Amendment going to be dealt with there? Is it a content restriction? Are they going to do forum analysis? Are they going to do both? Is it a conduct restriction? It could be. I doubt it, but it could be. Wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't it be interesting if they pulled some conduct restriction analysis out of their butts for filming? That'd be something. I don't think it'd work, but it'd be something. Because I know the First Amendment, because I love the First Amendment, because I've studied the First Amendment, I can figure out things like that. And I'm going to bet it's going to be resolved on strict scrutiny lines. So I know the test, I think, that they're going to do. I think it's going to be a content restriction test. I think it's going to be a strict scrutiny test. And I think what is going to remain to be seen is whether the government can prove a compelling enough interest. If it's a compelling enough interest that the government proves, then maybe they can, then maybe filming that front gate can be a violation of the law. Maybe. Of course, you have to deal with the executive order on law and all that other fun stuff, but, it's neither here nor there. We're talking about the First Amendment at this point. I'm told I don't love the First Amendment, that I don't like our freedoms, because I point out where freedoms end. Was it Oliver Wendell Holmes who said, my right to swing my arm ends at your nose? I think it was him. Rights have limitations. They do. And if you love your rights, you have to understand their limitations. If you don't understand their limitations, then how do you know what to protest for? I want to increase my right to do X. Increase it from what? Increase it to what? Have you come up with any sort of an argument to explain why your right to do X should infringe on other people's right to Y? People think that if they're filming in a public place, like from a public street or something, then if they think that if they're filming from a public place, then their right to film is 100% wholly protected, wholly guaranteed, can't be abridged. And that's wrong. Even if you look at Turner v. Driver, your holy grail in this community, which I'm sure that 90% or more, 99% of auditors haven't read, and of the ones that have read it, I'm sure most don't understand it. I know that Turner doesn't understand it, or at least he didn't the last time I talked to him. But even Turner v. Driver says that the police can put in reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions. That's a restriction on your First Amendment right to film in public, filming public officials. Does anybody ever stop to consider that in their haste to thrust a camera in someone's face? People keep sending me pictures of public officials in California, Tulare, and some other places in the Fresno-ish area, Kern, all those places down there. Public officials coming out reading statements that their office is a limited public forum and they have the right to exclude photography. All they get back from the auditors is nuh-uh, nuh-uh, nuh-uh. Have the California auditors read California's Constitution? Have they understood the cases, California's free speech cases? No, they haven't. I think the difference between me and the average auditor is that I love the First Amendment, I love freedom of speech, and they love to be disruptive in public. I really do think that's the difference. I've been racking my brain trying to think of why some of these auditors do it. They have no intention of learning about the First Amendment, how it works, how to understand and interpret the important decisions that have been made in it, how to derive the tests that the government has to pass in order to make a regulation, rule, policy, law, whatever, that restricts your right to film or your right to conduct any sort of speech-related activity. Instead, they encourage people to grab a camera, go out, film the police. And, well, filming the police, I think, is the more laudable position that auditors do. It's way better than walking into some lobby somewhere and harassing a secretary. It doesn't mean that you understand your rights. I mean, I saw a video, PNP News put it up, Sextasy president, S-A-X-tasy president, however you say it. He was barking at a cop that the Supreme Court said 10 feet. 10 feet. I only have to give you 10 feet. He's wrong. He's lying. He baffled that cop with bullshit and bad on that cop for being that stupid that he doesn't understand when someone's throwing bullshit Supreme Court cases at him that don't exist. But what win did he give for the First Amendment? What win did he give for filming the police? In case anybody missed it, he backed up. He backed up 5 more feet. All threats and growls, but he backed up. You caved in, bitch. People were clapping in his little in a little comment section about how he stood his ground, how he stood firm. He backed up. Only back up 5 more feet. Don't follow me. Yeah, yap, 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 you little chihuahua. Yap, yap, yap. You backed up. You caved in. You gave him 5 more feet. But it wasn't about the First Amendment. It wasn't about. It was about. I mean, just look at the portion that PNP News highlighted. It was the confrontation. No one gives a crap about, sorry, Pound Sand, but no one really cares about a non-drama filled police encounter. I mean, I personally think that you your time was well served by filming it, because you never know what could have happened, and it's always better to film it and have that evidence in case something does go sideways. But drama-free encounters don't get any interest, even from other auditors. I mean, Man in Black, he posted drama-free encounters and he got very little response. Very little response. But then again, I guess there's a reason why I like Man in Black. What are you eating? Oh, it's a stick. Anyway, I think I made my point. If you love something, you'll study it, you'll understand it, you'll spend your time with it, you'll wrap your head around it, you'll want to think about it, you'll want to interact with it. And the auditors have shown a great deal of resistance to actually understanding the First Amendment in its entirety if it says anything at all that they don't like. So I'll leave it there. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know it's dark out. We have the change coming soon. So I'll be walking an hour later, but I don't think it'll be light. I don't think it's light. It's like 5. It's almost dead on 5 o'clock right now. I don't think it'll be light then. It's 6. Might be lighter. But anyway, I appreciate it. Sorry for the lack of dog butt. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.